fanboying and fanboys, and actually fangirling and fangirls. Anyway, the concept of being a fanboy or a fangirl, I'm sure you've heard of it, you know? I'm sure every time you think of a fanboy or a fangirl, you think of Taylor Swift and some of her rabid, I'd say, fans who will needlessly and pointlessly defend her. Now, what's the point of me saying all of this? Well, being a fanboy or a fangirl is something that's not very good for you, you know? It's not very good for your health. No matter what you are fanboying or fangirling for, some political ideas, a video game, an artist, a certain drama, and you're picking a side, right? Being a fanboy or a fangirl is something that, it's not good. That's basically the end, right? That's the point that I'm trying to make. Why is it not good? Well, here is the thing. I used to be a fanboy of Intel, you know? The guys that make CPUs, right? Processors for computers. I was an avid Intel fanboy. But then something happened. Skylake, then Kaby Lake, which was still Skylake, and then the next generation, which was still Skylake, and the next Skylake. You know, when Intel was using the same 10 nanometer process node, which lasted for God knows how many generations, I already forgot. And you know, because I was such an avid fanboy, I was like, they're improving on some existing technology. Very good for them. They're very smart. They're investing in making something better. Because that's kind of how I feel about, you know, ICE, internal combustion engines. You know, why should we switch right now to electric, which is kind of inefficient because you do not have those super fast chargers everywhere, and some cars use different chargers instead of being universal, how it should be. But the point that I'm trying to make is, because I was such an avid Intel fanboy, when AMD released their very, very nice and very powerful first generation Zen architecture, well, I was starting to have some second thoughts, some doubt starting to show up in my brain. But no matter, a fanboy must still remain a fanboy for the rest of his life. That is until you see AMD and Intel trade places, you know? AMD used to be this, I don't know, stove, heater, whatever of a CPU that's basically just there as a radiator for you to heat your room. But now it's actually the biggest player in the market. Not to say Intel is no longer good or something like that, but Intel is, they're still struggling, you know, it's still kind of hard for them. And because I think fanboys like me had, you know, somewhat of an impact on Intel, you know, when you're singing someone's praises, you say, oh, they're the absolute best, and they're bound to get lazy, they're bound to get comfortable and no longer make any new inventions, come up with new ideas, come up with something better, or think about the next big thing that they're gonna do. Now, this is not necessarily the case with Intel. I think they just got way too comfortable because they were the only big player in the CPU market, right? And when AMD came down, well, they brought down the hammer and the anvil and started to smack Intel, I guess. Now, the other thing that I was a fanboy of is a little toxic, useless game called League of Legends. Now, allow me to explain this one, and then I will move on and show to you why fanboying is not a good thing and tell you about another concept that is not a good thing for your health. But now, let me finish the example real quick, I promise. Imagine this. I'm in high school, right? I'm in my 10th year, I think, or my 9th, I forgot. I'm playing League of Legends. It's only the 3rd or 4th season, when League of Legends was at its peak. Ultra Rapid Fire just came out and it was a banger. It was such a banger that Riot did not know how to balance some champions and they just banned them, and they did not allow you to play them until they made a hotfix or whatever, right? Everything was perfect. Now, there was the, I guess, average toxicity from a competitive game, you know, in ranked, because that's something you can see in every single game, right? CSGO, CS2, Dota, every single competitive game will have those toxic players. And unfortunately, I find myself to be one of them. But because I was such an avid fanboy of League of Legends, you know, I was a strong defender that League of Legends will continue to get better. Until I saw myself become so toxic and so annoyed at that game, right? But I still played it, you know. But the point is, every time that I found myself fanboying for something, I only felt like losing something. I only felt like I was losing myself, losing brain cells. I only felt like a loser. I only felt embarrassed defending such stupid things. I mean, can you imagine someone defending League of Legends? I find it so cringe when someone is like, oh, this is my game. First of all, it's not your game. Sure, you're playing it. Maybe you invested some money in it. But it is not your game, okay? It's the developer's game, right? Okay, it's the company's game. It's not yours. And defending a game is kind of pointless, you know? There's nothing wrong in being a fan and defending good choices that they make, good things that they make. Same with the Intel, you know? It's not a bad thing to defend their good products, but when the companies make so many stupid decisions and you're still fanboying around, singing their praises, being their little warrior, you only stand to lose, right? And again, as I said, no matter if it's a game, no matter if it's a person, actress, Hollywood star, whatever, no matter if you're a fanboy, I would advise toning down your fanboying just a little bit more and more and more and more until you're basically able to still be a fan of what you love, right? But still hold them accountable for some of the stupid stuff that they do, right? Because the moment you see something as being perfect, well, that's the moment that it's getting, you know, to a point where it's kind of dangerous, both for you and for that thing, right? That's the kind of thing that I want to talk about. Is fanboying is not a good thing. To like something is okay. To love something, again, is okay. To defend it pointlessly when you know you're wrong or when the situation does not call for it, it's just stupid. You know, same with Taylor Swift. I'm sure she has made a lot of good songs. I did not listen to many of them, just maybe 2 or 3 that kept on showing on TV. I don't see where the hype is, but seeing people defend her when she's basically taking a 2-way trip to her bathroom using a private jet, it's not a good thing, right? So yeah, fanboying. Definitely not a good thing for you, right? Okay. Be critical about everything, even about the things that you like, because that way you will be rooted in reality at least. Oh yeah, I forgot one thing. I don't know if you know, there's a YouTuber out there called Seanhead, very lovely YouTuber. I actually did not know she was a populist supporter. She engages in populism, not liberalism or conservative, because I thought she was a conservative, but that's besides the point. She made a video where she basically reacted to people reacting to her content. The video I think is her latest video as of uploading this video, and one thing that kind of annoyed me was showcased in that video, and it was the fact that, you know, that rally, you know, when Trump came and made a speech and he was almost assassinated, unfortunately someone died. And when Seanhead was talking about the unfortunate collateral victim, which is sad, almost all of the liberals were like, he deserved it. He's probably a Nazi, you know, he likes Trump. Yeah, it's gotten to a point where they're such big fanboys of liberalism that they can no longer see anything that's wrong with any type of ideology, right? Especially theirs. And they're gonna hate on the opposition until, you know, the world ends, the world implodes, an asteroid inevitably comes down and kills all of us. You know, one of them was Destiny, and I thought, even though I knew he was a liberal, even though I knew he had commitment issues and stuff like that, I actually thought he was quite an intelligent guy, quite a nice guy. He's still an intelligent guy, but to basically jump onto conclusions and say, oh yeah, good thing he's dead, he was a Nazi, he was a Trump supporter, you know, he had it coming for him. What the heck? Really? Are you that deprived mentally to think like that? Now that Trump is into office, at one point I think they said that the other administrations had a lot of people to deport, but they were just not doing it, you know?
One of the things you heard on the campaign trail, one of the criticisms of me and of the president was, well, yes, we have 20 million illegal aliens. We have, you know, close to 1 million violent criminal illegal aliens, and we don't know where they are. It turns out we actually do know where a lot of them are. We just haven't had immigration enforcement, and that's what's changed so radically.
And what we're actually doing is taking, you know, the old reports and we're delivering on them, right? And then I remembered, hold on a minute. I remember, you know, Destiny talking with a Trump supporter at an, I guess, an online debate with that guy that always wears a suit. He said he's a Russian. You know, I think some of you might know what I'm talking about. And I remember this conversation specifically. And it goes like this.
To be clear, also, we're not on the spectrum anywhere. Okay, we are in totally different worlds. He doesn't even believe that there's. He thinks that everybody coming in for asylum is an illegal immigrant, right? He has no idea how
You
part
said
of this
no,
works.
but Stephen, you both agree that asylum is a process that exists, and Stephen, you think it is in effect most of the time, and Luke, you think it's in effect very little of the time. But you both agree it exists. You both agree it's not perfect. You both agree it can be improved, and then you disagree about like to what extent is it ruptured. That's how I
I
understand.
think we
this.
both agree that asylum is a noun that starts with the letter A. That's it.
Okay.
The guy that was a Trump supporter said there is no policy or any kind of process, you know, to process all of the migrants that come into the USA to make sure that they are legal, you know, or at least it is not respected, okay? And Destiny was like, oh, so you don't believe that, you know, your country is doing either due diligence to make sure that all of the migrants that come in are not illegal? And, you know, he was making fun of the Trump supporter guy of being an unbeliever because, oh, you don't trust this, you don't trust that. I think I'm gonna try and find the video and link it to you and show it to you in the video. But I find it really funny because he was defending the migration process of the USA. And yeah, now we actually know that, you know, the last administration was doing absolutely nothing to combat illegal migrants. They actually had a list of who to deport and they just did not want to deliver on it. So yeah, that's another L for Destiny. It's that kind of thing, you know? He was fanboying so much for the liberals that, you're not looking so fun right now. You're not looking so good right now. You're looking kind of stupid, you know? You defended illegal stuff done by your own government? Stuff like this gets me annoyed, but I'm passionate about it and I really want to give you this small advice. Do not fanboy, do not hate watch. And now a little bit about hate watch. Hate watching is the concept where you basically watch someone that you don't like just for the sake of getting riled up, making fun of them, and hate in general. And that's kind of it. And again, it's one of those things that I guess you could get some enjoyment out of it, but at the same time, you get annoyed, you get riled up, and in the end, it's not good for your health. You know, I just don't see the point. Whenever I'm on YouTube, on television, even though I barely watch television nowadays, no matter, whenever I'm watching something and I start to immediately hate that thing that I'm watching, I'm just moving on to the next topic. You know, it's that easy. There's no point in hate watching. I mean, there's nothing you can get out of it, right? So that's kind of it for this video. I just wanted to give you this piece of, I think, very useful advice of, hey, don't be a fanboy and don't hate watch. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a big difference between hate watching and listening to everyone's opinion and seeing who's right and who's wrong and then deciding for yourself what your opinion should be. Because there's a big difference between hate watching and just, I guess, looking at all sides of the story, right? But yeah, I kind of got this idea to make this video because of one of my latest conversation in the Brett Cooper video that I made in the comments, which was a very lovely conversation. I actually enjoyed it. I really loved seeing the other guy's point with whom I was talking to. And yeah, I got the idea, you know, it's kind of easy to basically just pick a side of the story and just roll with it into the sunset and not even care about the fact that, hey, you might actually be wrong, or hey, you should actually look at all sides of the story before making your own opinion, right? But hey, what do I know? I just wanted to give you this piece of advice. I think it's very useful. I hope it might help you in the future. And in the end, I would like you to look at the graph. Maybe subscribe if you like. If you don't, it's okay. I don't mind. And I wish you a good day, good night, good morning, whatever it is. I really hope it's good because we all deserve it. Especially you, my dear viewer. Goodbye.